Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of Hawaii. Got another new property this week in Nanawale Estates. It's a corner lot. It's got power at the lot line, and as you can see from the headline here, it's in a really good location. It's close not only to the community center, but really to the entrance of the subdivision itself. So, very well located. Anyway, let's get into some specifics. This is, hang on. HIHI 5450 is the reference number, located in Hawaii County. That's the Big Island. This is a roughly quarter-acre lot, which is a pretty big lot in that specific subdivision. That sub is, of course, Nanawale Estates. And as you saw up top, it is priced at $7,500. So let's bring this up on a map, show you guys exactly where this is. As with all of our listings, if you come back down here, click these GPS coordinates, any one of them, boom, up on Google Maps, it shall appear. Let's pull back first, show you guys exactly where this is, and we'll talk about specifics. So, this is the Big Island right here, aka Hawaii County. Over here in the eastern portion of the island is the Puna district, and here in the Puna district you will find Nanawale Estates. Nanawale is helpfully labeled here on Google Maps. It is this subdivision right here. It's kind of a small subdivision. It's only about a couple thousand lots, something like that. But it's in a really good location. In fact, if we're just going to talk about what's close by, you've got the town of Pahoa right over here, like a short 5-minute drive, something like that. Here you're going to have easy access to whatever kind of amenities you need as far as, schools, churches, medical, so on and so forth. It's a small town, but they do have a lot to offer, a lot of markets, places to shop, places to eat, things like that. Additionally, if you can't find what you're looking for there, just a little bit up the road in Kiau, you've got another town right here, slightly bigger. Even more of the same as far as, amenities, as far as anything that you're going to need, grocery supplies, so on and so forth. A few more restaurants, a little bit more nightlife. And if these two towns don't do it for you, then just a little bit further up the road is the town of course, Hilo, which is the major population center here on the island. Obviously, anything that you're going to want or need is out here. As you can see on the map, they've got a Walmart, look at that. As well as, of course, the international airport, municipal golf course, and probably a bajillion other things, including the university and some great beaches up here along the North Shore. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it should also be noted that Nanawale Estates is in very close proximity to the Kalapana area over here, where they have the nighttime farmers market. And then if you travel your way up the 137, you've got the Kahena Black Sand Beach over here, and as well as the, if we zoom in a little bit, it will appear on the map. Yes, there we go, the Pohi'iki Black Sand Beach as well. So you're in very close proximity to not one, but two really nice beaches out there, as well as whatever is along this coastline right here. Anywho, all right, guys, property specific. So this property right here sits here off of Tutu Lane, Tutu. As noted, it's a corner lot. And if we go to map view right here, you're going to see an overlay of the plat. The plat overlay doesn't quite line up with Google. This is a third-party site, obviously, but this is the lot itself, this sort of triangular-shaped one right here. If you want any clarification on that, you can come back here to the listing page, zoom down a little bit. You'll be able to see not only our Google Earth overlay of the property to see its sort of exact size, shape, location, but you can also refer to the plat map here, which will show you exactly what we're talking about. Anyway, back to the map, guys. Hang on a second. So, it should be noted that this property sits in very close proximity here to the entrance of the subdivision. The entrance is right over here off Nanawale Boulevard. Pahoa Village Road is very close by, etc. Nanawale Estates is, it does have an HOA. It does have a community sort of organization that oversees the area, that collects yearly dues and has certain covenants. We'll get into that in a second, but the point is that some of those yearly dues, which are about $99 annually, help take care of the sort of maintenance of roads out here, get power extended throughout the region, etc. And also pay for things like the little community association that you have over here, along with the swimming pool and the playground, etc., etc. It should be noted, most all of the lots in this subdivision are all 0.18 of an acre, so roughly about a fifth of an acre. This one is slightly bigger, as noted, about a quarter of an acre. Additionally, it's a corner lot, and as you can see here, you've got power at the nearby neighbors, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Power really going all along 2 right here. So if it's your plan to build out here, it should be very easy, very affordable to get power hooked up to the subject property itself, etc. Now, let's not dwell on the map. Let's go down here and look at the photo gallery. I should mention, so typically we get photos taken from every one of our properties because lots in this subdivision are so sort of densely forested. I elected not to have the photographer do a bajillion, photos of essentially trees. Rather, we got photos from the community itself. So if you go through these, what you're going to see is, first off, we've got photos from the community entrance over here, Nanawale Estates itself. And then if you scroll through these, you will see, of course, they're not coming into focus for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, they will when you view them, I promise. You'll be able to see the little pool that's over here at the beginning of the community, picnic tables, things like that. You can see that this is a well-maintained, nice region. It's got parks, it's got playgrounds for the kids, so on and so forth. And then once you get through those, you are going to come to the property-specific photos right after this one. Again, I apologize. These are not in focus right now. Anyway, so these are the property-specific photos. As you can see, here's the power at the lot line that we were talking about. This 2-2 lane is actually one of the few that's sort of not paved itself. It looks like it's well-maintained. You can take any kind of car up and down this thing. That being said, it's not a paved road. It's a little overgrown, but not too bad. Additionally, what you can also see here is that this lot is not as densely forested as a lot of other properties in this region. If you're at all familiar with Nanawale, typically when our photographer takes a picture, all you see is just a wall of green trees. Because you can make out the sky here, I can assure you that this is not as densely forested as others. Point being, if you do desire to come out here and start building, you're at least going to have sort of a lot less work to do as far as dozing, as far as knocking down some trees, grading the surface, and making it sort of flat and buildable. Anyway, once you get through those photos itself, then you're going to come to photos of the community, starting really right here. Yeah, there we go. Photos of the community of Nanawale as well as nearby Pahoa. And I'll give you an example of exactly sort of how bucolic and really just idyllic this area is, but how bucolic this little town is that's nearby with the churches and with the, the little shopping areas, things like that, the cafes, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a really pretty little town. I'd encourage you guys to check out these pictures on your own time when they're appearing better than they are right now in this video. Anyway, but a very large photo gallery here of the region. So I'd encourage you guys to take a look at that. Anyway, as I was mentioning earlier, this property is part of a community association, the Nanawale Estates Community Association. If you click this link, it'll take you to their website. So if you have specific questions about, hey, I want to buy land out here, I want to start building, what do I need to know, or what do I need to know about your community? This would be an excellent resource for you guys to call, talk to these people. All their contact information is up here. Some community associations are a little hard to find, particularly in New Mexico, much less get a phone number for. Down here in Hawaii, they make it very easy to talk to them and ask questions. Additionally, it should be noted, up here we have on the property, annual taxes for this lot are $200 a year. That's $100 in February and $100 in August, or you could pay it all in one swoop if you like. Additionally, it should also be noted that there are yearly property owners association fees that total $99 a year out here. This 150 is, I believe, incorrect. I'll check that and update it before the listing goes live, but I don't believe that's actually associated with the land out here. Anywho, over here we have some property specific notes. These also help to cover the covenants. Now we have the covenants linked right here in the table, as well as down here on the listing page. If you click on these, it'll bring up the CCRs that govern this area. It's only about 6 pages. It's a very easy read, and honestly, most of this is just sort of obvious good neighbor stuff. It has to do with like nuisance, about how you dispose of rubbish and trash, don't make too much noise, so on and so forth. Really nothing too strict or ridiculous to be aware of, aside from just 3 things that I do want to point out to you guys, and we wrote them up here in the table. And these are about restrictions on building. Notable building restrictions are as follows. 1, once you break ground on the property, you're expected to complete construction within 1 year's time. So people always call and ask about a time limit to build in these subdivisions. You know, you buy the property, you can sit on it for the next 50 years and do nothing with it. But the day you get a building permit and say, hey, I'm going to put up a house right here, they would like it done within 1 year's time. What happens in month 13? I don't know. Do they give you a fine? Do they, look at you funny when you drive through the subdivision? I don't know what the punishment is, guys. Reach out to the Nanawale Association, talk to them, ask them exactly, practically what happens if you exceed that time limit, but that is what they have enumerated in their covenants. Point number 2 here, no structure can be taller than 24 feet or 2 stories, okay? And the third one, which I want to make some of you guys aware of because a lot of people like to call and ask about the ability to build a tiny house. Minimum square footage requirements out here are 880 square feet. So point being, we're going to change that to square, by the way. Point being, if that's your definition of tiny, if that fits your definition of tiny, then you can build a tiny house out here. Otherwise, you can just build a very small, normal house, I guess. Point being, those are a couple things to be aware of. Other things we want to make you aware of with these lots as far as we get a lot of calls about just about building on property and questions about water supply and permits and things like that. We do our best to kind of try to answer those questions here on the listing page, but here's some of the information that we would tell you if you called on the phone. Number one, these are some densely forested lots out here in this subdivision. You're going to want to get essentially you're going to want to rent a bulldozer. There's a lot of people in Hawaii who provide this sort of service to come out and doze the lot. They're going to flatten everything out, but basically the way it works is you get a permit from the Public Works Department, and once Nanawale has a copy of that, then with the permit number, then you can start doing that. You can start knocking down some trees and building on the property. We actually have a link here, guys. I found this video on YouTube. As noted here, it's a video. It's overlong, a little boring, but it's very informative. If you click this link, it'll take you here where you can watch over the course of an hour. You can spend an hour watching this and see how exactly one of these lots in Nanawale Estates, this one is actually right here off of Flower. Flower is very close to this property. How exactly the dozing of the land goes and what that process looks like. And you get to the end of the video, this lot looks a whole lot different like that. So yeah, anyway, if you got the time, give that a watch. It should also be noted here that we have some other links as well. Puna Web is a sort of helpful resource. They have Puna Talk, Puna Web, Puna Talk, where you can reach out and you can ask questions specifically of owners of land within this region, within the Puna region, or more specifically Nanawale Estates. If you have questions about, practically speaking, what's it like to live out here, or you know, who's the best person to hire to come out and doze my lot, things like that. This is a good resource. They actually have a lot of good sort of question and answer in here. So we've provided for you that as well. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, with all that said, guys, this is a quick video today, but I just want to make you aware of this and say that if you are interested in purchasing this, we have a buy now button right here. Come up here, click it. It's going to take you to a secure checkout page. The property is $7,500. That being said, we're asking for $500 earnest money deposit. I don't anticipate most people have a credit card that can accommodate $7,500. Some people would prefer to close through title and escrow. Whatever the case, we ask for $500 down, and then we'll figure it out within 24 hours how exactly you want to fund this. Here at checkout, we ask for a couple things: legal name for deed, marital status, and tax address, just sort of all the information that we need to convey a property in the state of Hawaii. And once you fill this out, on the next page, click Next, enter your credit or debit card information, put down the $500, and then as noted, we'll be in touch with you to see if you want to separate the rest of the $7,000 out of some multiple credit cards, or if you want to close through a title company. A couple things to note, guys, if you are interested in purchasing this property. We do what's called an attorney close here, which is to say that we have an attorney in Hawaii who drafts all of our deeds plus supplemental documentation. You give us the $7,500 and we're going to have the attorney begin on all of that paperwork. We'll be able to get it to you probably within about 3 or 4 days, something like that. Once you approve it, once you say it's good, we're going to autograph it, notarize it, and mail it off to the county to be recorded. And by the way, if any of that was not clear, you can come back down here and you can read all about attorney closings. Look at that. If you are the type of person who is skeptical about putting $7,000 down on a property on the internet, and how do you know these guys are going to convey this land to me? That's fine. We get that all the time. Just come up here, click on the How It Works page, and you can read our Buying From Us page. If you want to close through title and escrow, that's fine with us. That being said, we do ask for $500 down just to prove that you are serious about this. Whatever the case, that process looks a little bit like this. You place the earnest money deposit. We're going to draft a contract. We sign it, you sign it. We submit it to the title company, and they will do their thing. And then within a couple of weeks, they will contact you and ask you to deposit the remainder of the funds in escrow. They'll ask us to sign a deed, and they will not release your money to us until such time as we have deeded the property into your name, FYI. By the way, guys, if you'd like to see a copy of one of our standard sale purchase agreements, just click this link right here, and I'll bring this up here. Let me refresh the browser. Hang on. But this is what one of our standard contracts looks like. Kind of generic form right here, but basically one page for signatures. This will show you exactly what you're being expected to sign once you put down that deposit. It should be noted, guys, that if you want to close through the attorney, we're going to cover all the costs of that. If you want to close through title and escrow, we're going to expect you to cover all the costs of that. And if you have questions about that, I can answer that better if you give us a call. 702-919-7170, or just shoot us an email, support@hemingwayland.com. Or if you like, leave a comment here on the YouTube. One more thing, guys. We get so many questions from people who want to try to finance properties. We don't like to finance land. I'm not crazy go nuts about that. It typically, more often than not, ends up in some scenario where somebody can't pay me, and then I either have to foreclose on the property or wait 6 months to make $100. So I prefer not to put myself in those positions. That being said, we have a link down here Hawaii Federal Credit Union, if you bring up their website, they have a lending program on vacant land. Not a lot of lenders will lend on vacant land, but Hawaii Federal Credit does. I have never personally used this program. I can't vouch for it. I can't speak to it. I'm just simply pointing you toward it. If you are interested in this property and you do want to buy it, but you can't afford the whole thing right now, might want to reach out to HFS. They have a pretty good loan program here, 4.75%. That's much better than I would be able to do if I were financing this for you. So I have read through the criteria here for their loan program. It seems very agreeable, but that might be something you want to research on your own and see if it's something that you feel comfortable with. Anyway, with all that said, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video. If you have any further questions, shoot us an email, give us a call, or leave a comment here on the YouTube. All right, guys, thanks again.